So your plane crash landed at the foot of a huge climb, and all you've got around you is a teddy bear, trumpet, and a bunch of suitcases. Sound familiar? Then this video might just be what you need to give yourself a hand up. Let's start this off with some general tips about how to peak in peak. And no, not that kind of peaking. So the first tip is the most obvious, which is to make sure you're playing on tenderfoot if you struggle. After that, I'd recommend playing with friends. They can pull you up at the end of a long climb, or they can throw frisbees at you. And the final one is to make sure you are cooking your foods. And yes, that does include bottled water apparently. As you can see here, I'm gaining a little bit extra bonus stamina. Being the first area, it's obviously going to be the easiest. Climb those trees to get those coconuts, chuck them at the ground and they'll break in half, allowing you to eat them. Make sure to pick up the backpack as well as the starter items. There are some chains and bridges dotted about. These can be helpful to get a bit higher up. Just be careful when going on the bridges as these can collapse. Now there are some other hazards in this area. One of these is the jellyfish, which if you tread on, you'll fall over and you'll be poisoned. Best case scenario, if you fall over you look a bit silly. Worst case scenario, you end up like this poor sod. There are also these massive poisonous sea urchins. They sound worse than they are, they will just give you a little bit of poison, just don't walk into them. With all these things in mind and a bit of luck, a bit of skill and a bit of careful planning, you should be at your first campsite now. If no one has died or you're playing on your own, activate the statue and you will receive a relic. Sometimes they're great, other times they're a bit... If you're playing with friends and unfortunately anyone has died, you won't get the relic from the statue, but they will come back to life, ready for the next stage. Now scoop up all those useful items, light the fire and grab the yummy marshmallows. Don't forget to cook any foods you found. Now I know it may be tempting to blindly leap off the edge of this cliff. Only jump off if you can see a vine you're gonna reach and make sure you press E when you go past it. Otherwise you'll end up like this sorry fellow. Or you can do what I prefer and just scale down safely. Congratulations, you're now ready for your long climb up. This one always looks the most overwhelming. So the main hazard for this stage is basically poison. This comes in the form of plants, berries/mushrooms, these weird bush things, thorns and also ticks. With the berries and mushrooms you just gotta know which ones are safe to eat and which ones aren't. Ticks get picked up by walking through normal bushes. To get rid of them, simply look down at your feet and hold E to remove it, or get a friend to do the same for you. You can eat them, but I wouldn't advise it. The poison bushes, however, if you were unlucky enough to step on one, they would explode into a poison gas, poisoning you and everyone around you. Similar to when you let one rip. Exploding bushes are probably one of the more funny hazards in the game. Just hearing them go off and seeing your friend get yeeted off the edge is just a special feeling. These two clips are in the same stage. My friend got resurrected with an artifact and then died the same way. A constant thing in this stage is that it can rain at any point. This will make you travel a lot less, so don't climb in the rain unless you absolutely have to. Don't be afraid to go back down, to go up again, because it will happen in this, and that goes for all the levels. Hopefully now you can see the smoke from the embers of the campfire, marking this stage as good as complete. Once again, activate the statue, light the fire, collect all the loot, transform into Gordon Ramsay and cook up all the food you found. Yes, I'm talking to you, you idiot sandwich. The next stage can go one of two ways. You'll end up with either the Mesa or you'll end up with Alpine. I'm going to start off by talking about Alpine. Similar to the Tropics stage, there is weather in this in the form of a snowstorm. This will cause you to slowly take ice damage or cold damage, which will slowly eat away your stamina bar. If it gets too far, you'll end up unconscious or even dead. Once you notice the icy winds pick up, try to take some refuge in cover. You can usually tell where this is as it will be shaded. Or you can join the capybara for a nice hot spring bath.
Gamma. Psych! No, I'm just kidding.
If you climb up through the inside of the mountain, you should be fine from the cold winds the whole time. Whilst you're inside, you may notice there's a lot more pitons than there are on the outside, but be careful because when used, these can break. Whether you're scaling the outside or climbing up through the inside, be careful for the ice rocks. When in contact, these will slowly eat away at your stamina, replacing it with the ice effect. They're not too dangerous, just make sure you don't spend too much time on them. Heat packs can be found in suitcases here. These help counteract the effects of the cold for a certain period of time. There are also these weird ice plants scattered about. If you make contact with them, they will render you blind for a set period of time. Just stay where you are if it's safe to do so, and wait for the effect to clear. In terms of food, this stage offers up orange winter berries, which are perfectly safe to eat. They're nice and light, and there's quite a lot of them scattered about the map on the outside. So if hunger is looking like it's going to be a problem, maybe stick to the outside the map. Otherwise, I'd recommend the inside. The last thing to watch out for is the geezers. And no, not that man at the local pub. If you get too close to these when they set off, you'll be knocked off your feet and take some burning damage. After dealing with all these things, you should hopefully now be at the next campsite. This should be getting routine for you now, but do the same as you have done at previous campsites. Before we continue, we need to have a look at the counterpart to Alpine, and that's the Mesa, named by the notorious Jar Jar Binks. This landscape is the complete opposite of Alpine, causing burn damage instead of cold damage. Stick to the shade where you can while it's daytime, otherwise you might get a bit crispy. But don't worry, it cools off at night, allowing you to quickly traverse the area. Tornadoes can spawn at will, and if you're unlucky enough to get caught in one, they can throw you in the air, or you might get stuck on cacti, which will deal a new kind of damage to you, spike damage. Now, if you're at least part balloon, this will pop you, but for anyone else, it will eat into your stamina. To remove them, look at the affected area and interact with them. You might need a friend's help for this part. Oh, and you might get absolutely twatted by a rogue tumbleweed like I did. Keep an eye out. Peak's very own mimic, the ant lion. Despite part of its name including the word ant, it is in fact very large. The explorer's luggage is their bait and you are their prey. Further in the stage, you'll come across scorpions. They're pretty easy to avoid, although they're quite small, so sometimes you might miss them. You can pick these buggers up and just absolutely yeet them off the edge. If you're too slow and get stung, these things will do a lethal amount of poison damage, so get yeeting. Now it's time for my favourite hazard in the game, dynamite. Walking too close to these will light the fuse, giving you a few seconds to get clear before they explode. Or, if you're an absolute legend, you can pick them up and throw them away. Definitely not at your friends. Wink wink, nudge nudge. If you're lucky enough, you might find some aloe vera dotted about. These will help revert you back to before you were crispy. Speaking of crispy, do you know who's not? That's right, our favourite friends the capybara are back, living life to the fullest in their new cool pool. Jump on in to cool down. You've completed the Mesa, well done. You've only got 2 stages left, and the next one is Caldera. This is probably the shortest stage of them all, with the lowest peaks, with the lava level constantly increasing and decreasing. If one of the rocky hills starts to glow, move off it quickly, because it's about to burst into flames. As the lava rises, the shorter rocky hills will start to heat up, dealing fire damage to you. When the lava lowers, quickly run across the ground to skip past a few of the rocky hills, but pay attention to your stamina as you want to leave enough to be able to get back up. Other than food from the luggage, there are only eggs which you can eat, and these are quite rare. Chuck them on the ground and you'll be left with some nice raw egg to eat. Because this stage is easily scalable, avoid using any equipment or climbing items. You'll need them for the final stage. Oh wow, you're already here. Stock up and get ready to enter the kiln. This is it, the final stage, the stage that ends most runs, the kiln. Have a good look up. Planning is key here. If you've managed to save some equipment, go for the easiest route, but if you're lacking, try and find some luggage on the way. Pitons, bottled water, chain launchers are some of the strongest items on this stage. If the next ledge looks too far away, down an energy drink, climb as high as you can and use a piton to gain your stamina back. And if you're playing with friends, drop a rope down as well. There's not as much lava as the previous stage, but there are burning rocks scattered about. Don't linger on them. If things are looking hopeless, there is one item that is incredibly risky but could save you. That or end your run. If I'm that desperate, it's worth the risk, and it's also quite funny. The scout cannon. Find a nice flat surface, point it towards a better area or the wall near it. Place a spare item in the barrel. If you've got an empty backpack, these work best. Light the fuse and hop in and cross your fingers. Hold the left mouse button so when you slam into the wall you should be able to grab it and quickly climb to safety. This might sound daft, but it has worked, as you can see here. If you fail the run, definitely try again. Keep trying to get the artifacts, and if you're lucky you might get some anti-rope. Some days the maps are more difficult than others, so don't be disheartened if you don't succeed. But for those of you who did succeed, congratulations, well done. Climb the flowery hill and light the flare. Pour yourself a nice cup of tea, lovely jubbly, and wait for rescue. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching my video, I really appreciate it. I've put tons of hours into editing this thing. If you've enjoyed it and want some more, leave a like and subscribe. But don't forget to comment if this has helped you in any way or if there's anything I need to improve on. And if I've somehow shared my wisdom with you.